Gravitas, co-presented by Skoda. Kushak, choose what really matters.
Now, we live in a world of passwords. We always have. From Alibaba's cave to your new smartphone, everything has a password these days. Sometimes they're tough to remember. Our passwords have become a lot more complicated. You just can't put your birth date anymore or your pet's name. Those are too easy to guess. On the flip side, longer passwords are too hard to remember. So what's the solution? Can we live in a world without passwords? Microsoft certainly thinks so. They're giving users a new option. Remove your password. Instead, use alternative methods to log in. What are these alternatives? You can use the Microsoft Authenticator app, a security key, or an SMS or email verification code. You're probably familiar with the last one. SMS and email verification. Google uses it. So does Apple. So what's different with Microsoft? Well, Google and Apple offer these options along with a password. Microsoft is looking to remove passwords entirely. Their authentication app is also interesting. It uses fingerprints, and facial recognition. They're also trying out OTPs, one-time passwords. You don't have to remember them because it's different every time. Most banks use the system for fund transfers. But do we really need to abolish passwords? We've had them for so many years. Surely they work. Well, that depends on how you define a good password. Like I said, birthdays won't cut it anymore. Experts say you need long, tough passwords. Maybe a sentence with multiple symbols. Most of us don't think that way. We think passwords should be easy to remember. But easy to remember means easy to hack. Microsoft says there are 579 password attacks every second. 579 every second. There are people out there trying to hack your accounts, your Twitter, your Facebook, maybe even your bank accounts. Passwords make them vulnerable. Nobody likes them, nobody remembers them, so why not abolish them altogether? Let me show you some numbers from the US. 75% Americans say they can't keep track of their passwords. 24% of them have bad passwords, like QWERTY, 12345. 66% use the same password across all accounts. These accounts are basically sitting ducks. You don't need a hacker. You just need an educated guess. There is definitely incentive to remove passwords. What we need is a good replacement. Biometrics are an option, facial recognition or fingerprint scanning. But these options need extra equipment, an eye scanner or a fingerprint reader. But your normal password just needs a humble keyboard. Then you have OTPs. You get the password on your phone. Well, what if I lose my phone? What if it's out of battery? The worst case scenario, what if someone else has it, someone steals it? A world without passwords will have to answer all of these questions. Microsoft may be trying to. 90% of their employees use password-less authentication. 150 million users are doing the same. The trick is extending this worldwide. The challenge is daunting, but if it means not having to remember dozens of passwords, I think we can all get behind it. Let me end with some trivia. The concept of computer passwords emerged in the 1960s. It's that old. Almost 20 years before the internet. An American computer scientist, Fernando Corbato, is often called the father of passwords. So this system is nearly 60 years old. Our world has changed a lot since then. The internet has grown leaps and bounds. Surely alphabets and numbers cannot protect us anymore. Because remember, for every password you set, there is an Alibaba lurking near the cave. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.
Gravitas, co-presented by Skoda. Kushak, choose what really matters.